All right, welcome to the final video lesson on area of circles. Well, final lesson on circles anyways. Let's jump right in. A circle has a radius of 5 inches squared. What is the circle's area? Okay, whenever you see info like this, make sure you have a drawing that shows that information. And I want you to remember that the diameter, which starts with a D, cuts across. And the radius, I'm going to do a little lowercase r in there, only takes up part of that. Or I think I showed you this one. The radius, if you make a capital R, needs this little space here. So at any rate, you have a radius here. So let's put it in. That radius is 5. Okay, the formula for the area of a circle. Its area is equal to pi times the radius squared. There's a lot of cool ways to see this. We're not going to focus on those in this video lesson, though you may focus on those in class. And we're just going to go right with this formula, pi times the radius squared. And we're going to show how to find the area in terms of pi. Remember, that means pi is in our answer, and rounded to the nearest hundredth. And for this, we're going to use pi is approximately 3.14. This is going to be very similar to how we did the circumference. Okay, so let's start with our answer in terms of pi. Area is equal to pi r squared. For every geometry problem, start with the formula. Write what you know in symbols. Don't put any numbers in yet. Next, let's substitute in what we know. Area is equal to pi times the radius, which is 5, squared. Now we can simplify. Area is equal to pi times 10. Wait, don't make this mistake. Remember that 5 squared is equal to 5 times 5, or 25. It's not equal to 10. So area is equal to pi times 25. Okay, and that's our answer in terms of pi. The area of this circle is 25. We like to put the number first. It's like a coefficient when we have pi. 25 pi, don't forget those units, inches squared, because we're talking about area. Okay, now let's find the answer rounded to the nearest hundredth. We're just going to use this information here. Area is equal to pi times 25. And now we're going to substitute in 3.14. But since we're substituting in now, we're not using the actual value of pi. It's just an approximation. We're going to put these little squiggly equals. So area is approximately 3.14 times 25. And let's use calculator. 3.14 times 25. So area is approximately 78.5 inches squared. All right. Let's do another problem together. Before we do, I want you to identify what's different about this problem. Think for a second. Now, here's a mistake that students often make when they're finding an area for a circle like this. They say, oh, I got this. My algebra is great. I'm going to do area is equal to pi times the radius squared. Start with a formula. Area is equal to pi. Don't copy this, by the way. This is wrong. Pi times the radius, which is 8 squared. So area is equal to 64 pi. Yes. No, this is wrong. What's the mistake? Can you see that 8 is not the radius? Remember, the radius only takes up part of the circle. It's half of the way across the circle, from the center to the edge. All the way, remember, capital D for diameter, going through the center, that's the diameter. So for this circle, the diameter is 8 centimeters. The radius is half of this, so the radius is 4 centimeters. Okay, so this is the wrong answer. Let's do the correct work below. Area is equal to pi times the radius squared. Area is equal to pi. Let's substitute in 4 for that radius. Area is equal to pi. 4 squared is not 8. Don't make that mistake. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. So pi times 16, or 16 pi. We already see a correct answer here. That's one of my correct answers, 16 pi centimeters squared. And now let's keep going, substituting in an approximation for pi. Area is equal to pi times 16. Pi is approximately 3.14 times 16. And even before we get going here, we can see there's really only one answer here that's reasonable. 8 pi squared, that doesn't make sense. And 64 pi, we already know that's the wrong answer. 8 pi, it's not that, 16 pi. So let's see if 50.3 is reasonable. And it might be that a different value for pi was used. When I wrote down 50.3, yeah, because if I use this approximation for pi, I'm going to get 50.24. Okay. And so I'm betting 16 times 3.1415. That's probably what I did. Yeah, so that would round to 50.3. If I multiply by 3.1415, which is a slightly better approximation of pi. At any rate, you can change this answer to 0.2 because that's what we used here. So just like with circumference, you're going to find answers in terms of pi, and you're going to have answers that need to be rounded. You got to read carefully to decide which one you need. Okay, so your practice, also like circumference, is going to start with a chart. And in this chart, you need to use the information to fill in the radius and diameter, and then find the area in terms of pi and round it to the nearest hundred. Good luck.